Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to show some aspects of working the pelvis area. But I would like to talk not only about the pelvis, but also about the hip joints, and to do some mobilization of this entire area, some stretching, so that you could apply it during the massages you give. I'd like to remind that all the techniques we show in our videos we try to adjust for massage therapists so that they could apply these techniques, making them an integral part of their massages. So now we are going to do the mobilization, and it is going to be the mobilization of the sacroiliac joint. I mean that we will be moving it a bit. You can check any available literature on anatomy to find out where such a joint is situated. In addition, we are going to do the stretching of the broad fascia of the thighs and the ligaments of the hip joints. So, let's say, this is our plan for today. There is one point here, my friends. If you take a good look at the bones of the pelvis and the spine and revise the anatomy of internal organs, you will realize that in fact all internal organs are somehow attached to the bones of the pelvis and the spine, and, therefore, any dysfunction existing in our internal organs affects the mobility of these bones, the pelvic joints and the spine. That is why here is my recommendation. Before making any movements or doing any stretching in the hip joint, the pelvis or the thoracic spine, or anywhere in the spine, so before any mobilization you always need to perform a proper lymphatic drainage of the abdomen and the chest. Check what the lymphatic drainage is. If you want to watch a video about it, a full version is available in our videos devoted to anti-cellulite system. There you can find a full process of the lymphatic drainage of all areas, the abdomen, the chest and so on. Why is it important? Because, if you perform the proper lymphatic drainage before the mobilization, if you give a glass of water to a person, you will notice the change in range of motion. Just compare it. For example, here is the person being massaged. You bend the leg like this. Push it towards the abdomen, and when you feel the first strain of the muscles the angle of bending will be like this, for example. But if you perform the lymphatic drainage of the abdomen, you'll see that you don't even need to do anything else to increase the angle and to bring the leg closer to the abdomen. Why? Because if you perform the lymphatic drainage of the abdomen and the chest, it initiates a strong lymph efflux. Moreover, it reduces the swelling of internal organs. If you reduce the swelling of internal organs, you'll feel that organs are moving and ligaments are stretching much easier after that, and the movements in the hip joint will change. They will become wider, although you have done nothing to the hip joint itself. Just perform the lymphatic drainage of the abdomen and the chest and you'll see a considerable increase of motion range. It won't be just better, it will be a considerable improvement. So, imagine that we have performed the proper lymphatic drainage of the abdomen and the chest, and now we start working the joints, the sacroiliac joint and the hip joint. So what do I want to show you today? Look what I start with. I place the foot on the table, pull the knee down towards myself, like this, put my arms around like this, set the knee against my abdomen. I have here the upper abdomen, like this. And now one important thing, look. I will now make some movements not downwards and towards myself, but on the contrary, this way, along the femur. In this case, the sacroiliac joint will start stretching a bit. And here is the critical point. If you don't want a person being massaged to have any health problems, you need to do the lightest version of mobilization. So, look, I press down, set the knee against myself and start leaning upon this point in order to get the sacroiliac joint and the iliac bone ready for mobilization. And after that I make tiny and soft rocking movements like this. You need to check that a person does not feel any pain, so there should be no disconnected movements or jerks. Only such wave-like movements. Then we change the angle in order to mobilize another area of the joint and do the same. Lean upon the knee and make the same movements in this direction. So again, we make these rocking movements, like this. If you look at the other foot, you will be able to see the range and frequency of the movements I'm making. One more axis is left. We again change the angle, now it is more than 90 degrees and the movements will be in this direction. We again lean upon the knee and make tiny and soft movements. Where will the stretching be now? The stretching will be along this entire line, like this. We have worked one side, now we move on to the other side and do the same. So once again, you'd better apply all those movements to the hip joints and the bones of the pelvis after the lymphatic drainage. You'll be astonished at how much the state of our internal organs influences the mobility of our joints. It will be a huge difference. I remind you that if you need, you can watch the full version of the video on the lymphatic drainage. You can find it in our videos about anti-cellulite system, where the whole section is devoted to the lymphatic drainage with the step-by-step guide. And one more thing, my friends. I'd like to say I'm glad that you leave your comments. You can also write what you are interested in and we will try to consider your requests and make videos devoted to them. That is why, please, write what else you would like to know and watch. Don't forget that we continue our topic on Thai massage on a table. We remember about it and are going to continue making videos on it. So, please, give your likes, leave your comments, and I think next time we'll see each other in our new video on Thai massage on a table.